And yes, that's right, here we are with Bitchin Kitchen. I'm Paul, and this is Stephen Andersson, and we are here today with the fabulous Caress. Hi Caress, how are you doing?
Hi Paul, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. And today, I think, what are we going to knock up for Caress today?
Well, what would you like us to knock up for you, Caress? Love a dessert, eight for dessert.
Would you like to learn how to bake a cake?
Not really. Like the cold dessert to be better. That'd be nice.
Well, it's not a problem because I hate bake cakes as well. And so you can get yourself a little book like this, you know, cakes that men like. I have not found one recipe in there that I like. I thought it was cakes like men, but it's cakes men like.
It was buns that men like.
You know, the idea is you're supposed to pull a root by like cooking for your man.
Please, they cook for you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm getting it wrong, obviously. Okay, well, do you want to learn how to make a cheesecake?
Love to. This kitchen is your kitchen.
Cheesecake? No, this kitchen is your kitchen.
Now make it yours.
What flavour do you want?
Sue kitchen. I don't really know. Surprise me, please.
How about mango?
Love mango.
Let's try. I know they're out of season. We don't have to use mangoes in season. It's better to actually use the tin stuff anyway. I'll also show you how to make a choc mint cheesecake.
Choc mint?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, well, first we need some biscuits. Pop them in a tall container. Yeah, he knows to use a tall container because he used a bowl before and the kitchen was covered in biscuit crumbs. So mess everywhere. It was really good. Yeah. Now, what you do, I'll just bring you over here. Get something like a rolling pin and just break them up a little bit because it's rather difficult to... you make a mess. If you've got it in a shallow bowl, you'll make a mess, right? And you just crush up your biscuits, and it's got to be plain biscuits. Mari biscuits, or Nice biscuits, or your milk arrowroot. Yeah, that'd work well.
Scotch finger?
They do, actually, but the biscuits are nice too. Stay away from a Scotch finger, I think. What about, there was another one, milk coffee. Yeah, that one's good too. If you can see in there, I've crushed them down a little bit. But I've got a rather handy little utensil here. This is Paul's, actually. See, Paul's actually done something for this Bitchin Kitchen. Have you been told today?
No.
Can we say on Bitchin Kitchen? Yes. How about get Now, how do you work this, Paul? You got to press this button. Can't get it to work. Has it got a tickler? Back in there again. Okay. Oh, sorry, I need to speak in there. There's a bit of blade on it. It's called It is. That's a brand name. It's called a Tiffany, actually. A Tiffany Wonder Wand. And so while you're doing that, and I'm getting shot in the eye with bits of biscuit, getting biscuits everywhere, we might get down to some interesting stuff with the lovely Caress. We've known each other for a little while now, not when we were little girls or anything, but close to.
And I actually remember when you and Stephen used to share a bed.
Never shared a bed with Stephen.
Sexually, but you have slept over at his house a few times. You climbed in my window and I was on the first floor. I thought that was pretty damn good.
I have never slept in a bed with him. Thank you. She got us breakfast from the milk bar with orange lipstick and everything.
Yeah, those were the days.
So, what I can't remember when it happened, when Caress was born. When did that happen?
It was way before I actually met you. It was back in HSC year. I was 17, illegal. Went to a hotel called Duke's.
which was in Richmond back then, Victoria Street, Richmond.
Yeah.
And Kerry Legore was hosting a night there called it was an Opportunity Knocks come thing anyway, I can't really remember what it was called. And I had a drunk friend who was 17. We snuck out of our rooms and ran off there for a few ales before school next day. No wonder I failed HSC. And he was drunk as a skunk and saw the acts going on and said, we can do better than that. And Kerry said, right, well, you're on next week. And he grabbed me, and that's how it started.
And do you remember the number you did?
Oh, yes.
And was it really bad? And what you wore?
The makeup was appalling. Everything was appalling. But the number was Chain Reaction. We got through, won that, and then we did so much. I got through, won that. We won the final in the end, which was really nice.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I never did it again for six years. Sorry.
Oh, really? Don't you find it amazing that suddenly I appeared on the other side of the screen from you?
How did you do that?
Magic of television, sweetie.
My kitchen.
Now, here we have a rather lovely little bowl.
Hold the bowl?
That'd be lovely. And we'll just pour that in there. I've ground that up. And you'll see that there's lumps in it.
Very well.
Because it's hard with a machine, so like that. Or you can throw it in the blender if you've got one.
Or another thing that you can do is get a paper bag, a brown paper bag, put all your biscuits in that, and get a rolling pin and roll them. It's the old-fashioned way. It takes a little bit longer, but you don't get flying bits everywhere, and your bits are crushed better, and we like crushed bits.
If I was smart, which I'm not tonight because I'm tired, I would have already melted this, so we'll just pop this into the microwave. Nuke it. This is 150 grams. Sorry, microphone. This is 150 grams. And nuke the bitch. Once we've got the butter and we mix it in, you'll end up with a little biscuit crust. Now, we have prepared one earlier, as we usually do, especially with this recipe.
I'm in the way again.
Now, you've got to make sure that you spray your tin. You want me to spray your crevice this week?
I'm already feeling pure and simple enough, thanks.
So you don't... Another brand name?
Oh, get over it. I said pure and simple enough, not cooking spray, Queenie.
I think you need a squirt. Come
I
on,
think you
Bender.
need more than a squirt, love.
Now, while that's happening, I've got our biscuit crumbs here, and we're going to use this one for our mango one. Now, it's one packet of biscuits and 150 grams to make a small dish about so big. You know what? That's 10 inches, isn't it?
I was going to say about 9 inches, so...
Hang on. No, it's about 9. So, now this one we want to make chocolate. So we've got some chocolate powder. No name.
How much chocolate goes in this? There is.
Cocoa.
Well, you lied. I'm sorry. Come on, camera.
It has got a brand name. Excuse me.
Why don't you go for sponsorship?
Well, if there are any companies out there that would like to send us some money, we would be quite happy to drop a name here and there, but none of these people are paying us, so we won't advertise.
How much cocoa did you throw in there?
Well, it's up to you to sort of have a look how chocolatey you want it. But if you do you want to put some in for me, Dale?
No, don't, you didn't tell them though, did you?
Well, I just put like about a tablespoon in there, but I think maybe another little bit. That's heaps.
That's going to be very chocolate. That's ultra chocolate.
Well, you're going to see once we put the butter in, it's going to like.
Do you want me to check the butter?
Yeah, check the butter. Check the butter.
A bit of better butter.
I know how to operate a microwave.
Oh,
Jesus, what did you do?
Oh, cheese and rice, mate.
Too long, Dale. Don't burn yourself. Oh, don't touch that caress. Yeah. Is that right?
This
Look. Oh, I still call Australia. Oh, thank you.
Darling, thank you. Just pour that in. Ooh, lovely. There's a bit of butter paper in there.
Oh, that was one of her nails.
There was a bit of paper off
No,
the
these are
butter.
attached to me.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. There it is. There it is. You've got to make sure you don't get your butter paper in there.
Yeah, 'cause
as you can see, this is a very real life. This is like reality TV.
That was Survivor.
No, well, that's what I find really amazing is they say, oh, that's not reality TV's the rage. Hey, we've been doing it for like years.
Yes, but you don't vote anyone off, or...
Well, not that you know about it anyway.
That's right. We just edit them off. Now, now just
God.
get them on the floor like that, and then if you've still got bits there, you can just crush them like that. And of course, you can't use them afterwards, but then you can't really see them on the
We'll get downstairs.
floor. And that's like,
This can be quite
I was river dancing.
show at times. Now, as you can see, I've mixed that up, and if my bowl's not big enough, it's easier if you're in a bigger bowl.
Sizes and everything.
What I do now, to make sure that it's well mixed, my clean hands, of course,
Carissa's just giving herself third-degree burns.
You've got to make sure that you don't dive your hands in here when the butter's like just gone in, because you're going to burn yourself. And what I'm actually doing is I'm cracking up those little bits of biscuit that didn't break before and rubbing the butter through to make sure that it's all well and truly combined. And then we'll just leave that into your pan. You just press them in there and pop them in the fridge.
I think these are ready now, Steve.
Good, I will pop them out then. You get down there. You got very tall stillies on it, so very low down there.
Oh, you've got to wear stills in the kitchen, don't you?
I can hear your little hoofs against the crumbs.
She's
Isn't that cute?
holding on my feet. She said she wouldn't do that.
Well, you did put them on, so it's okay.
No, they look all right. They're nice feet. You've got rather
no letters, no.
rather nice legs, actually.
Thank you.
For one cake, you want 250 mils of mango juice, which you can buy in a tin without showing you.
No name.
No name. You can buy that in a tin, and you can also get them in the Tetra packs in the supermarket.
Tetra.
Tetra.
Isn't that a brand?
No, that's a type of package.
Okay.
It's a patented package, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, sue me. Now, what we've got to do is we've got to get that to the boil and get that hot. Now, Caress, are you writing this down?
Oh, sugar.
You're never going to remember that. No, there's no sugar yet.
No, I will write. Yes, I am writing this
You're
down.
writing this down. You've got your
I can
pen.
always press play on the video too. You
Yes.
just watch your beautiful face
Well,
each time.
Thanks, Dale.
Might curdle your cheese, but anyway.
Well, it hasn't curdled yours yet, so, Can I use that word again in this episode so soon? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get it boiling, and then we're going to add some gelatin.
How much?
For one cake, which is 250 mils of mango juice, we use one sachet, which is about 7 to 10 grams. But see, whenever the recipe says 7 to 10 grams where it's gelatin, I always like to add a little bit more gelatin because
Gelatin.
Yeah, because otherwise your cheesecake, when you pull it out, it's going to look great, and then you'll go, oh, isn't this great? And you pull the collar off your cake tin, and it goes.
Oh.
Yeah. But saying that, you don't want too much gelatin, otherwise you'll be able to kick it around that. You'll be able to kick it around that. Don't get snitchy with me.
He did 2 years of his apprenticeship.
I did 2 years of my apprenticeship, and then I got sick of serving horse meat, so I did something else.
Okay, so we're just waiting for this to boil. Okay, we finally got our little pot to go to the boil, which took about 5 minutes, and I'm going to throw in the gelatin, but you've got to be very quick to stir that in, otherwise your gelatin will all clump together into a blob, and that's not a good look.
It doesn't taste nice either, just gelatin by itself, because it's horse's hoof.
If you end up getting any lumps of gelatin in your pot, then just get rid of them, pick them out with a spoon. If you see a lump, just sort of go like that and then ditch it. So we'll pour that back into the jug. Ooh. And we're going to pop that in the fridge. We're going to pop that in the fridge to cool down. Now you can speed this process up by popping it in the freezer.
That might break it.
So we'll just pop that in the freezer, and we want to cool that down until it gets a little bit thickish. Not set, just thickish.
How long should that take?
Probably about 10-15 minutes in the freezer.
I'm getting very hungry.
So you want it to be viscous.
Viscous.
How's that for a word?
Viscous is anything that's thick.
Yeah.
Like when your sauces are viscous.
Oil is viscous.
English lesson too. This is
Viscosity
lovely.
is like the properties of a liquid.
It's all about education, Chris.
Lovely. Viscous. How do you spell viscous?
Okay, what's next is we have a bowl with some Philadelphia cream cheese in it, and
Not that we're talking about brand names.
no, Philadelphia is a type of cheese.
Oh,
Really?
pardon my ignorance.
Brand is there. If you can. Anyway,
Light Philly.
as once again, I'm making enough for two here. So you put 1.5 packets of 250 gram Philadelphia cream cheese for one cake, and then half a cup of sugar for
Is
one.
that just normal sugar?
It's caster sugar, which is just a finer grade of sugar. And what we're going to do, we've got to make sure that your Philly has been resting out on the bench so that it gets nice and soft.
But not mouldy.
Now, no, not mouldy.
Okay.
No, you don't want to leave it out for too long, just long enough to get warm. Or you can throw it in the...
Not a week.
You can throw it in the microwave too, and that will make it like...
You can, but don't nuke the hell out of it, otherwise it'll just be on the floor.
My thing fell out.
You knew that was going to happen. So we'll just wash that. And then Stephen is going to use the mixer to combine the cream cheese and the caster sugar.
And I'm a bit worried about this because I just know it's going to go everywhere.
So get a nice big close up.
Sometimes things don't go the way you plan in the kitchen.
We've got to go to a break.
I know we've got to go to a break. Well... My things have fallen out. Look, how about we go to a break? I'll get this back together, and when we come back, I'll show you what's happening.
That's right. This is Bitchin Kitchen on Ben TV.
There'll be no bitchin'. I don't wanna hear bitchin'. There'll be no bitchin' in my kitchen. Get a life. Get a haircut. He said this, she said that. Okay, he said this, she said. Okay, okay. He said this, she said that. Okay, he said this, she said. Okay, okay. There'll be no bitchin'. There'll be no bitchin'. I don't want you to help me. The only one to help me, help me. Your mother made me see your house and watch me shout and watch the sound of me make my
Okay, now if you're using a little tiny hand mixer, oh welcome back by the way, if you're using a little tiny hand mixer like this, it can struggle quite a bit, and if you use a bigger bowl too, it'll be a lot easier.
You didn't say a big bowl, Stephen.
Well, that's because I haven't got a big bowl.
But I have at home. I said, what do you need?
Bloody well brought it, didn't you?
I said I've got a glass bowl. I mean, what do you want?
Yeah, so you bring me an eyedropper. Now,
yeah,
that's gradually getting there.
it is.
Now, see, here, the next thing we're going to put in here is either lime or lemon juice. Maybe you can help me with this, Caress.
Let me cut it.
No, actually, because I prefer lime.
So, do you want me to cut it?
Well, I just, no, because I've got lime juice in here. You can buy it like this in the supermarket.
Okay.
Which is really quite
How much
clever.
are you wanting?
Well, we want about a teaspoon per cake, so we're making 2 cakes here, so 2 teaspoons.
Do I really have to measure it?
Oh no, just give me a square. That's about 2 teaspoons. Oh, I like lime. That's the thing that makes the cheesecake gives it the
Zest.
the zesty flavour. Oh, that smells beautiful.
Should we wait to see how it
Oh,
tastes?
can you smell it?
Yeah, I can. But I've got the bottle under my
Can you
nose.
smell it? We haven't got smell-o-vision yet on Ben TV, but we're working on it.
That's not taking too long either.
No, it's not actually.
Depends whose opinion you're asking, really, doesn't it? Look at that. You can get anything in a bottle or a packet these days. You don't have to do everything at home
Now,
yourself.
Caress, we need that thing. Yes, a little time has elapsed now, and our mango that we've had in the freezer to speed up the process. Now it should be still
It's viscous.
Still a little bit warm. Well, actually, it can be a little bit more viscous than that, but we're not going to wait because we want to make this happen. What I want you to do, it's not hot though, because if it's hot, it's going to melt the cheese, and that's not a good look. So, if you want to pour that in, just slowly, so we don't make a mess everywhere. And you've got to mix it. Just stop for a moment, darling. Otherwise, if you add it too fast, suddenly you'll end up with a big sludge. Because it gets softer as you add the liquid. You want to pour some more? Now, of course, if you're making a chopped mint cheesecake, you don't need to do the mango thing. But if you don't do the mango thing, you won't have the gelatin in there. So you need some sort of liquid with gelatin to make the cheesecake able to stand up by itself.
For example?
Some more.
Yeah, you could do that just by mixing some cocoa and some hot water with the gelatin, Stephen, and adding it to the mixture.
Yes, you could do that. As long as the gelatin gets in there somehow. That's the important thing. There's so many different ways to make a chilled cheesecake. I think most of our mothers have made cheesecakes when we were younger.
Yes.
Did your mum?
Yes, constantly. That's how I got my lovely figure.
Did you?
Shocking. She used to do those little square bites with the jelly on the top.
Oh, yeah, with the red jelly on the top. So now you can see it's getting really quite a lot thinner now than it was before.
Yes, it's a lot thinner, but you've got to remember once it cools down, it's going to solidify and set. Whereas you see how it's a bit chunky around the edges? You just got to make sure you stir all that in, otherwise your consistency of your cheesecake's not going to be right.
Okay.
And we stir that in, and we've got our base here, and this is the mango one that we're making. So we just pour that into the base, and then we pop that back in the fridge. There you go, Dale. You can lift the bowl, or do you want me to hold the microphone where you just...
Don't have it all.
No, I don't have it all.
Taste it. Tastes nice, yeah?
Yeah, that's good. Oh, it tastes a lime.
And, oh my godfather, I've forgotten the cream. Okay, no, not a problem. See, we've actually stuffed up here. We've forgotten the cream. We've forgotten an ingredient. So,
really?
Yeah. So what we've got to do...
Not like us at all.
Set, so it's all right. No, it's not like us at all. Oh, I fucked it up, didn't I? No, that's only the second time we've said that. So I'll pop that back in.
Third.
Word.
We'll just...
Now you want the cream?
Yes, we've already whipped some cream in the fridge because that will be a little bit heavy. What we need is the cream, which is not very fattening at all, is it, Chris?
What have we got? Butter, we've got cheese, we've got cream.
Now, this is about 250 grams, 300 mils, 300 mil cream, which is a small one, like a half size of one of those. And we just mix that through. Oh, I can't believe I forgot to put the cream in. Thank God.
You can't believe it.
When I went to put it in the fridge, I saw it sitting in the fridge and I thought, my God, I forgot to put the cream in.
Did you? Did you think, my God, I forgot to put the cream in?
Yes, I did actually. So, we just give that a bit of a whisk, and I don't have a whisk on me. And you don't have a whisk in your...
No, I don't.
I've got a whisk at home. I asked you what you needed me to bring. Simple question.
I've got an assortment of whisks, and what are you worried about? I forgot to put the cream in the recipe on fucking television, didn't I?
And you're the supposed chef. Huh?
Why don't you just get the mixer again?
Oh, well, I suppose you can always dock my pay, can't you? So, we just give that a bit of a whisk, and we pour that back in with the cream in it.
With the lumps?
Yeah, with the lumps. The cream's fine. Thank you for pointing that out.
That's what I'm here for. Oh no, I think we've had enough of smearing people's faces, thank you.
In the fridge?
That wasn't me, honest. It was someone offset, and then we pop it in the fridge.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, now the second half of the mixture.
And this time, we won't forget the cream.
This time we won't forget the cream. Now,
The whole lot?
this is the same mixture, so I've been telling you the amounts for one cake, so let's just presume that we're still making the same cake. It's much easier. We don't need a whisk because I've got the mixer, haven't I? Yay, mixer.
Gee, that's a quiet thing to do on TV. Use a stainless steel bowl and a stainless steel sink with stainless steel beaters. Sorry, I can't hear you over the dulcet tones of the... You got on there. Yeah, bit of that there. Bit of that there.
We're going to do something tricky with this one.
Tricky.
This is tricky. Yeah. This is like a chocolate sauce, and you can get like chocolate topping that you use for milkshakes or ice cream topping, or this one's one of the new ones that's like a fudge style sauce that you microwave.
It's good.
Yeah, it is good.
Bastards.
What we're going to do is, in our chocolate ones, we're putting the plain cheesecake mixture, and I hope I haven't poured too much.
Oh, you're going to do little swirls?
Yeah!
Oh.
And like last week, we'll try not to get the props in the food.
What we do is we get like a... Oh, it's very thick. Oh, this is a very thick one. I'm going to make it a bit of a swirl. This sauce is actually a chocolate and mint sauce, and I definitely need more. Can you help me get, Paul?
A chocolate and mint sauce, okay. Now...
What we're doing is we're mixing this through. You've got to do it better than that, Paulie. Round the edges, please, because I've got heaps of it in the middle. And we're trying to mix it so that the chocolate goes through and leave the squirrely bits in there.
That is all part of Bitchin Kitchen as well, Stephen, showing the boots and all TV, isn't it?
Yes.
Our stuff-ups and our triumphs. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Real raw telly. Now next we have to make the topping, and what we've got is a little tiny bit of water and a couple of
It's better.
spoons of corn flour, and we're not going to tell you why we're laughing because we edited
I
that
might.
out. No, you won't.
And what we're making here now is commonly called a roux, isn't it? When you're
Well,
making
actually, roux is actually a butter and
shortening and flour.
butter and flour thing is a roux.
But this is more of a paste.
This is an easy way. Yeah, it is a paste.
You add your corn flour a little by a bit, little bit by the time.
In the pot, Stephen.
Making sure that you're stirring constantly because otherwise you will get big cruddy lumps in there. And this is just to thicken this up a little bit.
So basically we're making a bit of a mango juice sauce to glaze the top of the cheesecake. We're going to put pieces of mango on the cheesecake. Now ideally this should be set, but we haven't got enough time to actually make this happen in a half-hour show. So we've placed our mango on top, and if it is set, then it wouldn't be oozing out the sides like this little disaster is happening. Now we've got our sauce, which also should be a little bit cool, but what you do is you pour it on the cheesecake over the back of the spoon so that you don't damage the surface of the cheesecake, and then you pop it back in the fridge once it's all
It's like layering shot glass.
layer upon layer upon layer.
It's a bit like doing a shot like
Oh, and make sure you've got something underneath for the overflow. Don't worry about the mess because this is a spring tin. See this little thing? When this is set, we'll open this and the collar will expand, and you can pull the collar off and you'll have the beautiful layers like we have here, you can see in the glasses. And
You could throw alcohol in there too, couldn't you?
yes, actually a bit of rum in here goes down nice, brandy.
Yeah.
Bacardi, yeah.
Oh, that's a
Bacardi's
brand name.
rum. Well, no, it's rum. It's a different type of rum.
Light rum.
Yeah. So we've done our best not to show you brand names. We've done our
Sorry.
best. We've done our best to give you a cheesecake, which was possibly not the best choice of thing to cook.
It's edible.
It tastes good. It's just that we don't have time to make it happen and set. So,
Sorry.
oh, it's not your fault, Dale.
I'm running off to the movies.
Yeah, she's run off to the movies. And we're going to run off too because we're out of time. And we hope you've enjoyed this episode of Bitchin Kitchen.
Oh, Stephen, have you ever fucked up so many times on camera before?
Oh, hang on. This sauce is not working.
Oh, it's the sauce that's not working,
No,
isn't it? Oh, the sauce, the bloody buttery sauce.
Bloody.
Bloody sauce, aren't you? You're a stupid sauce! Stephen, what's next?
We didn't pre-organise that at all. Can we do that again, please?
When you're doing this, you're trying very carefully not to...
Get it under control, love.
Trying very carefully. Oh. Thanks, darling.
So, Stephen, what's next?
Okay, next we have our...
It was a ghost! Can you see the ball moving on the floor?
5, 4, because you should me. 5, 4.
Alright, Stephen, next in the series...
Yeah, okay.
You forgot to tug.
Don't say that. What are you talking about?
Are we cooking sausages?
Down there.
We're doing bangers and mashes.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? They're just big ovaries.
Pubic mound.
Your pubic mound, okay.